One sunny August morning, Ben's parents and his sister Rachel took him to his first skate camp. Dad drew the car into the camp field. Mum, Dad, sister and Ben got out, unloaded Ben's kit and walked towards the camp. "Drop your kit there, Ben," said Skipper Mike, and give a hand to put the tent up. "Bye, Mum. Bye, Dad. See you in a week," Ben said. Mum tried to give him a peck on the cheek, but Ben turned his head away in embarrassment, saying, "Mum, people can see." A little low way from his sister, and they all left. Soon the site was set up. Skipper Mike called all the skates together. "You can explore the site while we leaders get lunch ready. Then we will have flag break and lunch. So don't go too far. Do not cross the road or the stream. I'll blow a whistle when it's time to come back." Off they all ran, as youngsters do, straight to the woods. "Let's find the stream," called one of the skates. All together, as if one was directing a search party, they found out. Ben picked up a stick to slash away through the undergrowth. As he did so, a silver glint caught his eye. In among the crispy brown leaves of the last fall lay a silver disc. He made his way to it and picked it up. It was very bright, smaller than a standard CD, heavy for its size, and without a hole in the centre. His curiosity was disturbed when he heard, "We found the stream over here." Ben put the disc into his shirt pocket and buttoned it. The thrill sound of the whistle found its way through the woods. "Lunch is ready," said one of the scouts. "I'm starving. Let's go," said another scout. After lunch, the skate troop were assembled around the flagpole for the formal opening of the week-long camp. After which, everyone changed into their activity clothes. Their uniforms were folded and put away, not to be seen the light of day until home time at the end of the camp. By the end of the week, all thought of the disc had passed away, overtaken by the excitement of camp activities. Weathered and tired, Ben sat on his kit bag in the sun, waiting for his parents to pick him up. As he dozed, he felt the weight of the disc in his pocket. He was about to take it out when he saw his mum, dad and sister walking across the field. "What's she come for?" he said to himself. He liked his sister, but as 11-year-olds, it was not cool to show any affection towards girls, especially your sister. Ben's parents packed his kit bag into the boot of the car and thanked Mike, the leader. They were soon on their way home. Within minutes, Ben was asleep. He was woken up by his sister Rachel poking his pocket and saying, "What's in there?" "Push off," Ben said. Then his curiosity got the better of him. He took the disc out. He turned it over, inspected it. Rachel was watching. She then quickly snatched it out of his hand. He tried to get it back, but his safety belt restricted him and Rachel held it just out of reach. He gave up and opened the car window. Rachel turned it, inspected it, looked for any clues to see what it is. "It's one of them pigeon things they shoot," she said, tossing it back at Ben. He picked it up and held it up to the light near the open window. As he did so, the draught from the window seemed to make it vibrate. He moved it back into the car, and it stopped, then moved it back into the draught. It vibrated again. Back and forth he moved it. Each time it vibrated when it was in the draught and stopped when it was moved out of the draught. It was a break to bring his It was a break to bring his discovery to everyone's attention when the car turned into their road. The thought of a hot bath, a cuddle for their pet cat took over any thought for the disc. It was consigned back to his shirt pocket. The car was unloaded and Ben's first thought was that bath. As Ben went up the stairs, Mum called, "I want your washing." Everything soon went back to normal. All thoughts of the disc and anything else come of that had gone whilst Ben had his hot bath. Then one evening, Mum said, "What are you going to do with that disc you put out to wash in your shirt pocket?" "I took it out and I've put it on the shelf by the washing machine." "Oh yeah," he thought. He went into the laundry and collected it and took it up to his room, remembering it vibrated when in a draught. He fashioned a net out of string so as to swing it around. It worked for 2 circuits, vibrated, then came out of the net, knocking over his Action Man and a rack of CDs, which crashed to the floor. Mum shouted up, "What are you doing up there?" "Nothing," he replied. Perhaps that was not such a good idea, he thought. Put the disc on the television and lay back onto his bed. Using the remote control, he clicked the TV on. To his surprise, he heard the disc vibrating and emitting a buzzing sound, like very fast talking. He got up and walked towards it. The sound was now coming in short bursts, almost talking. Turning the sound from the TV down, he could then hear the disc clearly. As it vibrated, there were short gaps and it sounded like words. Bzzz, bzzz, times, bins, mums. Ben thought he heard his name. He took it off the TV and it stopped. He looked at it for a second, tossed it onto the bed, wiping his hands together as if trying to get something off his hands. He sat on the bed looking at the disc, wondering what he should do. It said my name, he thought. He cautiously picked it up and carefully put it back on the TV. It started instantly vibrating. The words were now clear. "The to the Ben Mum." With a slight tremor in his voice, he called to his mum. "Mum, come here. I want you to listen to something." "I'm busy. I have your washing to do," she said. "This is important, Mum," he called. "I will be up in a minute." The disc by now was saying words clearly. The two, a day, time, Mum, Ben, Rachel, Cat. On and on it went. Ben realised it was repeating all the words, common words used in his house. Just then Mum came in. "What do you want, Ben?" The disc repeated clearly in a metallic sound what she had said. "What do you want, Ben?" Then carried on saying words clearly, but now they were in sentences. "I have your washing to do. Come here, Mum. I want you to listen to something." Mum, keeping her eyes on the disc, sat on the bed. "If I lift it off the TV, it stops," said Ben. "No, leave it. Let's see what happens," said Mum. It continued to make sentences. Then it stopped. "It must be some sort of recording thing," Mum said. Just then Rachel put her head around the door. "What are you doing?" she said. She looked at Mum, then at Ben, seeing they were looking at a dish. She walked across to the disc and picked it up. Together Mum and Ben shouted, "No, leave it!" She dropped it back on the TV as if it was hot, mockingly blowing on her fingers. "What's so special about it?" she said. Then Ben said, "It seems to be copying everything we say." Rachel said, "That's not possible. It's not even plugged in." Ben said, "It don't have to be. It works when placed on the TV." Rachel said mockingly, "It isn't working now." Just then it buzzed, making Rachel jump. She stood back and stared at the disc. It buzzed again and started to speak, still with a metallic sound. Simulating a comprehension in progress. Communications by sound waves. Rachel's mouth was wide open as she slowly sat on the bed and stared at the disc. It buzzed again, zzz, then spoke, still a bit metallic sounding. Thank you for activating me. I am a 425 communications and research device belonging to student Mazin. I am part of a research project into other world cultures. Because I have been activated by means not recognised by my home planet, it is therefore assumed I am lost. Student Mazin will receive signal from me and will collect me in 14 Earth days. If Student Mazin does not retrieve me, then I will destroy myself 1 Earth day after. Meanwhile, please assist me by exposing me to as much of your culture as possible. If you wish to hear this message again, place me on any source of vibration. All three looked at each other, then looked at the disc. It's a trick, said Rachel. I don't know where you have done it, but it's good. With that, she left the room. Mum stood up and said with a little nervousness in her voice, I think we should put it away until Father comes home. At this point, what would you do? Well, what would you do? Well, this is what happened. Dad was home late. By the time Dad popped his head round the bedroom door, Ben was in bed asleep. Mum explained what had happened. Dad said, we will sort it tomorrow evening. It will give me time to think about it. I'll be home early. That evening, Dad, as promised, was home early. Let's look at that disc then, Dad said. Ben took the disc out of the drawer and placed it on the TV. Sure enough, it buzzed. Then it repeated exactly what it had said the day before. But it went on to say, in quite a clear voice too, Student Mazin will collect me in 13 Earth days. It then fell silent. Dad said nothing for a while and then said slowly, it said 13 days. You said, Ben, yesterday it said 14 days. Ben said, that was yesterday. Today it is now only 13 days. Oh yes, said Dad. It knows the days are passing. Dad thought for a while, then said, as if trying to brush it off, you found it, you decide. Do you think it is a trick, Dad? Said Ben. If it is, it's a good one, Dad said. What do you think then, Dad? Dad replied, speaking slowly, I think we could take it to the police and look silly if it is a trick. We could bin it, lose a chance of a lifetime, or we could do as it said, which could turn into an adventure. It's called keeping your options open. Dad was really thinking. That's what we'll do then, Dad. I will take it to school, have it by the TV so it can hear the news. I will take it everywhere. The days passed until only one day was left before it would be collected or destroy itself. On the Friday evening, Ben reminded everyone that the disc will be picked up tomorrow. Yeah, right, said Rachel in her mocking tone. Little green men We'll come ring for tea and leave with a party bag and a disc. That's enough, said Dad. We need to think about this. I know it is a long way, Dad, said Ben, but how about we go back to the campsite and put it where we found it? That sounds like a plan, said Dad. Who's up for it? I'm in, said Mum. OK, it could be good for a laugh, said Rachel. Then Dad said it was activated in the car on the way from camp. So 14 days from then is tomorrow, 3 o'clock. So we leave at 12. The next morning, the car was loaded with chairs, food and a coat. Coats. They set off prompt at 12 o'clock. At 2 o'clock, they were at the campsite. Ben took them to the place where he had found the disc. It was right there, he said. I know, because I had to move those nettles. How's about if we push a stick in the ground and put it on top of the stick? Then we can watch it. This they did, then set their seats about 4 metres away and settled down. Dad fiddled with his camera. Rachel said a little less mockingly, You really believe this, Dad? Dad replied, I don't believe or disbelieve. I see you have your camera phone ready, Rachel. That's so I can talk to my friends when I get bored, she said. 3 o'clock came and went, as did 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock. Rachel complained she was getting hungry. Everyone was now thinking it was a lost cause. All agreed it's time to go home. They folded the chairs and set off back to the car. Ben was last to leave. As he passed the disc, he took it off the stick and put it in his pocket. No one spoke all the way home. Ben had the feeling everyone was expecting something to happen, even his sister. As soon as they arrived home, Ben went upstairs to his room and put the disc into the drawer. After they had eaten, Ben went upstairs to his room and lay back on his bed. He was thinking of the day and the last 2 weeks. Then it dawned on him, the disc will destroy itself. It could explode, melt, or even catch fire. It could burn the house down. He jumped up and went to the drawer and opened it. The disc was not there. He pulled everything out of the drawer. He pulled the drawer right out, then took everything from the next drawer down. Still no disc. It was gone. He was about to call Mum and Dad. Then he thought, best not. Sister would come. More mickery taking. Besides, they think I left the disc at the campsite. He flopped back on the bed. He picked up the remote control for the TV, and before he could press any buttons, the TV came to life. It did not have a picture, it just had a complex pattern of dots that changed colours in waves. Hello, Ben, the TV said. Ben sat up. The voice continued. Sorry I did not collect the disc when you were expecting me to. I took the disc by remote. I am in trouble with my superiors. I've gone beyond my permitted contact with other species. I have analysed the device and it will be very useful for my student project. Your planet is so much different to mine. You are so lucky to live in such a beautiful place. Your planet is organic with flowers, trees and animals. There are millions of different forms. You are so much different to me. I am made of flexible polymers. You would call me plastic. You have only 2 contacts with the ground. I have 3. How do you stay upright? If you saw me, you would probably find me frightened or think me funny. You live longer than me. In fact, you live longer than my species. We only live half the time in Earth years than you do. To me, humans are unpredictable. Going by the TV report, someone would probably want to kill me or destroy me in some way. I can't believe that as a species you kill each other. I think, Ben, you are not like the people on your TV. I am fascinated by the way you communicate by sound. We communicate on our planet by, you call it colours. The colours on the screen and the way they change are the very thoughts I am conveying to you by sound. I don't understand when you laugh or cry. We don't. There is so much I would like to share with you, but I have already gone beyond my allowance with contact, so I must go now. If you tell people about me, they probably won't believe you. So I'm sure my planet is quite safe from your Earth armies. I do understand you are a kind person, as most scouts are. You could tell about us as a campfire story with a moral about life on Earth. Who knows? Perhaps I may contact you again when I'm older and Earthlings are wiser. Good luck, my friend. The screen went blank. Not necessarily the end. Not necessarily the end.